What it do, sports fans, followers of the JJL Sports Talk Show. Once again, I am back with another episode of the JJL Sports Talk Show. Um, got some exciting news coming up. I got my cousin or one of my cousins from Maryland, Alitra. She's hooking me up with a new and improved logo for the show. Um, I'm probably gonna change the name from JJL Sports Talk JJL Sports Talk Show to the JJL Sports Talk to shorten the name. So I mean, thank you, Alicia, and I got you the tickets when I get famous. I got you. Thank you so much. Also, I'm gonna sample out one of my merchandise items. Should be coming in a couple of weeks. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, or haven't watched any of my episodes, tune in. Their Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, anywhere you can get it. Listen to it. Listen to it. It's a good show, and it's it's awesome to hear my friends, my family support me. The ones that are tuning in, I appreciate you all and all the love and support for this. And I'm happy, man. I got a lot of things going on all at once. I'm gonna in the next month I'll be going to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting to do phase one of that school program, and then after that it should end at the end of August, and then I'll be good to go for Montclair State. Represent Montclair State, baby. So I'll be graduating in the winter. So I got a lot of stuff going on at once. But I'm happy to be here today as your host. So, like I said, if you haven't tuned in, please like and subscribe. Right now, I'm on YouTube with the live version, and Facebook. Go to my Facebook account. That's my first and last name. Like I said, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Amazon Podcasts, anywhere you find podcasts, anywhere I'm on there. And if you can, with Patreon, please feel free to subscribe to that page and help me out. And then again, we'll be getting some merchandise in. I'm assuming when I get my new logo, I'll put the new logo on there. But I had the sample of the old logo on there coming in, so I'll see what that looks like. But again, if you can, I know times are rough with money and everything, and I know it would be greatly appreciated if y'all can support me, whether it's in $3, $5, anything, so we can get some merchandise in and some gear for y'all. So let's get into the episode. It sucks because I want to talk about my Yankees with baseball and other things, but this NBA Finals has been crazy. As you know, Game 4 happened. Golden State beat the Celtics last game, tying the series at 2-2. In that game, Curry had he has been phenomenal in the finals. He had 43 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. From watching the game, the Celtics had no answer for Curry. Curry was hitting the ball from deep all game, avoiding double teams, avoiding tough defensive schemes. He was hitting it. He hit a shot over Al Horford, which was nice. Got bumped, but didn't call it. They didn't call it foul. A big difference I saw, like I said in last episode, we wouldn't really see much from Klay Thompson. I mean, we saw 15, I think, from him in Game 1. But a big difference in his gameplay in Game 4. Klay had 18. Wiggins had 17 points and 16 rebounds. Curry had 10 rebounds, had double-double. And you have the Warriors, players, talking about Curry and his phenomenal performance. Klay said, and I quote, "The heart on that man is incredible." He continued by saying the things he does, we kind of take for granted at times. To go out there and put us on his back, we got to help and support him on Monday for Game 5. Curry, the man himself, on Game 4. I felt like we just had to let everybody know that we were here tonight. Whether that was their crowd, their team, our team, whoever wants to see that energy in that fire, we feed it off of that. I mean, we all know Curry is that man. 43 points, and like I said, like I told you all before, like Curry can't do it all by himself. In last game he had Klay Thompson hitting threes. Wiggins having a phenomenal. He kind of had a slow start for the first couple quarters, and then Wiggins ended up with double with 18 points and 17 points and 16 rebounds. So phenomenal work from those stars. Draymond kind of had an up and down game. Got pulled in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes to go, but came back with a phenomenal play to help Curry with the last period of the game. I don't know how y'all feel about Steve Kerr pulling Draymond out. Do you think that was necessary? Like, I want to hear y'all thoughts on that. Like, leave a comment and tell me what y'all think. So, Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Warriors, his thoughts on Green and in Game 4. He's the ultimate competitor. Made huge plays down the stretch. Kerr alluded to that this is a tough series for him to score because of Boston's size and athleticism, but he's still impacting the game at a huge level. So what do you mean by that? Like Draymond, even though he's scoring 2 points here, 4 points there, 6 points there, 9 points there, Draymond doesn't have to score to be a great player on the court. He can get rebounds. His energy, he feeds off of his players and the crowd. And I know I hate on Draymond, but in some way you had to put up points. And there was a stat I think I saw on ESPN saying that Draymond has more fouls than points. That's crazy. So I'll get into that more of what I expected from him in Game 5 in the Game 5 preview. Steve Kerr on how so the whole story of Game 5 or Game 4 was how Curry's ankle was going to be and how it was going to react after Al Horford mistakenly fell on it on accident in Game 4, reaching for a loose ball. There was no doubt in Curry and Coach Kerr. Kerr's comments on the game in the press conference after Game 4, he never even looked like it was a factor. Kerr continued, the physicality of out there is pretty dramatic. Boston's got the best defense in the league, huge and powerful at every position. And for Steph to take that kind of pressure all game long and still be able to defend, I think this is the strongest physicality he's ever been in his career. And I would have to agree with Kerr. We all know that Curry, throughout his career, he has ankle issues. But that doesn't really, bug him. He can still put up threes. He can still, be a huge factor. Curry is like the piston of a car. Curry is what keeps the team running. Without Curry, I don't know what the words will look like. Curry, he can be on ball, be effective on ball with the ball in his hands, all ball, moving around, quick, athletic. And it seemed to me looking at Game 4, it looked to me that, Curry was just at ease. Like, he was just hitting threes, driving to the lane. He had a nice step back, in and out cross over Horford, knocked down Marcus Smart, cross over Marcus Smart, and hit a floater. Like, this man can do everything you can imagine. Outstanding player. Even Dre had praise for him. He was like, he wasn't letting us lose. That's really all. That's all it boils down to. He continued by saying, I could tell him in his demeanor the last couple of days and the last couple of games after Game 3 that he was going to come out of he was going to come out with that kind of fire. Watching Curry, man, it's crazy. And this Boston Celtics just like get shot down like later in the quarter in the game. Like, it was sad because they had no answer. They tried to double team Curry. they tried to do everything. They threw the kitchen sink at Curry, and he still put up 43 points and still managed to get 10 boards. I mean, that's phenomenal. Like I said, other than Clay and Drake kind of having up and down series, Clay has been consistent. Curry has been consistent. Average, he had like 25 one game, 30 one game, 26 points one game, now 43 the next game. I mean, shoot, this man can hit a 50 ball this game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he hit a 50 ball today. Like, the way he's clicking on all cylinders. So now the next point I have with Game 5 is with the series being back. So from now on, like I said, like I mentioned in the last episode, the way the playoffs work now is, so tonight it's in San Francisco at Golden State's home. Game 6 is going to be in Boston Thursday, and then it's going to round out. So technically, Golden State has home field advantage for Game 7. If, in all, things go as planned, Game 7. And the question I had was, even when Draymond is up and down in the series, with him being back home in Game 5, can Dre have a big game? And, I mean, I feel like scoring-wise, I don't think so. But he can be a factor in many. This is if he can stay out of foul trouble and no technicals. He can impact other ways of the game. He can get boards, get assists, get steals, get blocks. Like I said, he reminds me of like of modern day Dennis Rodman. It wasn't this player to average, to shoot well from the 3-point line or mid range, But Rodman affected the paint. No one was scoring on him in the paint. So Draymond, I mean, I know he was getting manhandled by Robert Williams III a lot, and maybe that's the reason why I'm kind of sat Draymond out. Was a couple minutes ago in the fourth quarter last getting Game 4, but I mean even Dre, like Draymond and Clay, they all praised him, Curry, and like Draymond's right. Without Curry's 43-point game, it would have been a closer game. Even though Boston, Tatum didn't score at all in like the fourth quarter or the second half. Maybe scored like 2 points. But I'll get into that later. This is the Warriors side of the recap. But like without Curry's 43-point and 10 rebound effort, the Warriors probably would not win that game. But then again, Celtics were not, capitalizing on missed opportunities. So look at my notes. So yeah, Draymond Green is going back home in San Francisco, but in Game 1, he only had two. He only had like a couple points in Game 1. He managed to score like 4 points in the loss to the Celtics in Game 1, but with him being back at home with them tying the series up at 2 apiece, the crowd can be a factor. I mean, with any arena in any league, the crowd is into it. They support their players, and Draymond feeds off of that. I mean, that energy. So maybe with them being back at home, this will be better for Draymond. Even though he had a poor game in Game 1, this is Game 5. So, I mean, this for both teams, this is like a win. This is like the next team who wins this can win the next game. So we all know that the Celtics can basically win. If they win if they win tonight and they win in Boston on Thursday, they can win the series. But anything can happen. Coming into Game 4, we all knew that the Warriors were and are a third quarter team. The Warriors won the third quarter for the fourth game in a row, but not as decisively as they had previously. Golden State in Game 4 had had a 30-24 edge coming out of the break at halftime, closing with a 14-7 run to erase a 6-point Boston lead. So Boston, I mean, they were winning more of the game, but Curry scored 14 points in the quarter, making 4 3-pointers. The Warriors have outscored the Celtics by a combined score of 136-87 in the third quarter in the finals. That's crazy. They're outscoring them by a lot. Kerr saying that they are the best defense in the league, which they are, like the Celtics. With the Warriors outscoring them 136-87, that's saying something. But in Game 4, rarely in Game 4, the Warriors were a fourth quarter team, with them scoring 17 of the last 20 points of the fourth quarter. Now, on the Celtics side, Jason Tatum had a double-double with 23 points, 11 rebounds. He also added 6 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks, but he only managed to score 1 basket in the entire fourth quarter. And to me, in order for the Celtics to win that Game 4, Tatum has to be a better player in the second half. Yes, he had 23 points. Yes, he had 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks. That's great. But in order, he was what? He only had 2 points, 1 basket in the entire fourth quarter. That's crazy. Like, there's no way they're winning that game. Jaylen Brown added 21 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. Robert Williams had 12 points and is currently nurturing or laboring a sore knee. I've been watching him closely. Like, Robert Williams is kind of, he's been limping a lot, off that sore left knee. But he's still like blocking shots, being effective in the paint, scoring at will in the paint. Like I said, he was bodying up Draymond Green all game. But let me know, like, what y'all think. Like, do y'all who do you think is gonna win this series? Like, we all saw the tape, games 1 through 4. What do y'all think? Let me know what y'all reactions are. Let me know. I want to hear what y'all have to say about the series. Some key factors. Marcus Smart had 18 points. He hit a 3-pointer to give the Celtics a 94-90 lead with 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. But the Celtics missed 6 straight shots, and it cannot score until 1:18 minutes in the fourth quarter. I mean, in my opinion, the Celtics seem to go 0 dark 30 mode in the fourth quarter. That's right, you heard it, 0 dark 30, 0 points. It only got worse when Curry hit a floater and hit a 3-pointer to push the lead to 100-94. Celtics head coach Ime Udoka on Game 4, we had to do it in a difficult way. We had to do it again. It could have been an easier road. Obviously, if we get the win tonight, but we're 2-2 now. We know we can do it. We have done it before. I believe Udoka said that, he believes in his team. He believes in what they're capable of. I mean, he knows that they made it this far, but he also knows that his key players have to step up. Tatum doing his thing, 23 points, but you can't. The man cannot go scoreless in the second half. That's not acceptable. And the Celtics have to figure out a way to stop Curry. So, this episode is going to be really, really short again. But my game 5 previews, I'm looking for Draymond to have a bigger game in Game 5 than what he has showed me and other people who watch the games in the last 4 games. But that's a big F because he's been off all series. He got pulled out of the lineup with 7 minutes left to go in the fourth. Curry made the decision to switch out Draymond for Looney, and Looney wasn't even off a couple of sessions. The crowd will be the number 2 factor for the preview. The crowd will be a big factor in feeding some of the energy for both sides. of the teams, but more for the Warriors. I'm looking for Curry to have another big game, a bigger game in game 4 than what he had in game 4, but it's going to be a little harder because of the Celtics' pressure. Now, I read an article saying that Ime is in game 5 is having is giving the player a little more leeway of how they want to attack the Golden State Warriors on defense. They're letting the players figure out what matchups they want to take. I can see Marcus Smart on Curry. But then again, I mean, they have Klay Thompson. I mean, that's another point I'm going to make later on. Yeah, so with all the attention on Curry, I'm looking for Klay to have another 15, maybe 20-point game. That's if the Celtics decide to double team Curry and have Klay out on the wing, wide open shot, he's going to take it. So I'm looking for Klay to have a big game tonight. He had 18 points, like I said, in game 4. Had 12 in game 1, 15 in game 2, a couple points in game 3, 18 in game 4. So I mean, his stats are looking like he's going to be getting he's going to get maybe like 15, 20 points. I can see this. The biggest factor for the Celtics in this game 5 preview is this has to be the best game from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They have to play their asses off. And I mean that. Having 23 points, 11 rebounds, 21 points here and there is good. It's all good. It boosts their stat line. But with a star player like Tatum, you can't score in the first half and then expect to not score in the second half and expect to win. So this has, knowing that this game is in San Francisco, leaning towards the Warriors in their favor with the crowd, the atmosphere, the noise, all the storylines. Tatum has to have a better game in the second half. He has to, obviously he had 6 assists, so he was finding people on the perimeter. And Brown too. He has to have a better game. 21 points is not going to be enough against the Warriors. You have Wiggins having 18 here, Curry having 43 here, Klay having 18 there, Draymond helping out on the rebounds. I'm telling you, these two players, Brown and Tatum, have to have a bit better game in a better second half in this game in order to force a game 3 and take it back to Boston. Now, Al Horford has been non-existent since game 1. He had 26 points in the game 1 with 6 for 8 from the field goal from 3. He has had like 2 points here, 6 points there. What happened to the game 1 Al Horford? He can shoot the ball. The Celtics have to find a way to find ways to move the ball quick and set some screens, some all ball screens, and get Horford in rhythm. He reminds me of like Chris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks. You have like we saw in the final or the playoff matchup with the Milwaukee and Celtics. They were before Middleton got hurt. Middleton was not himself, but as they were getting all ball screens for him, and as he was getting more open, he was hitting more shots. The same thing has to happen for Al Horford. Al Horford was absolutely unstoppable in game 1, especially in the fourth quarter. And you definitely need some help on his side. Marcus Smart needs to stamp his defensive player of the year type mentality and kind of attempt to stop Curry. I know it's not a one man job to stop that man, but Marcus Smart needs to put more pressure on Curry somehow, in some way, in some form or fashion. And another question is: do the Celtics have a plan on stopping? Yeah. So, do the Celtics have a plan on stopping Steph Curry after his 43-point night? I mean, I I don't see. I see the Warriors winning this game because the Warriors. Curry is feeding off that 43-point night the other night, and I don't see anyone stopping him. But like I said, Ime is trying to put pressure or having his team put pressure on Curry. So we'll see. I'll be looking out for that. How much pressure the Celtics will be putting on Curry. I'll also be watching Robert Williams III and how he plays and moves up and down the court as he is battling a left knee soreness. He was kind of like limping. He was listed as questionable. He was listed as questionable for Game 5, but we'll see if he plays. But then again, he's been playing well. Averaging 10 points, 11 boards, 4 blocks a game in the playoffs. He's doing his thing, but the Warriors might see that as an advantage. Seeing a center limp, Looney has to step up. Draymond has to, get his points in the paint. Jaylen Brown had some comments after Game 4 performance on Curry. Brown said Steph Curry is pretty good. If you guys haven't noticed, he can shoot the ball unbelievably. Even watching it, playing against it, and even in the finals, I feel like he's taking it up a notch a little bit. He had a hell of a performance in Game 4, and we had to respond to that. And Brown's right. Watching Steph Curry is doing Steph Curry like thing is shoot from deep, shooting from 3-pointers, shooting lights out from the gym, getting assists, getting rebounds. He had 10 rebounds. Brown is right. They had to respond to that. And how are they going to respond to that? I don't know that question. I think the Browns know that question and know that answer. I don't know. They had to respond to it in some form or fashion. But you have to stop and look at what Curry is doing in this finals. Unbelievable. And after Game 4, Curry put himself in elite company, joining Michael Jordan and LeBron James as the only players age 34 and older to score 40 points in that finals game. Let me tell you, when you're an NBA player playing at a high level and you are mentioned in the same category as the great Michael Jordan and LeBron James in the same category, you're doing something for this league. That is outstanding. Curry is not playing like he's 34. He's playing like he's in his mid-20s. Still, fast. Still fast off ball. Still can shoot the 3-pointer deadly from the half-court line. Well, what can't this man do? Like I always say, Curry, it's like Tom Brady in the NFL. It's like you love the man because he's so great, but you hate to play against him. So you love Brady for his greatness and appreciate him and give him his flowers, but you hate when he puts up 200 something plus passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 rings, looking for his 8th ring this year. It's like Curry. You love the man. You love what he has done for this league. He changed the game for what it is. You love that he's in the category of MJ and LeBron, but you hate to play against him. Teams hate to play against him because they know what he's capable of. And even being a coach against Curry, how do you game plan against him? It's like Lamar Jackson, man, of the Ravens. I know y'all gonna hate me for bringing up a Lamar analogy, but listen, it's true. I mean, when you're a coach, I mean, Lamar has changed the game for quarterbacks. You know, being a dual threat, can throw the ball and run the ball at a high capability. Most of these teams back in the day before Lamar came into the league, they were known for the traditional, quarterback in the pocket passer. But Lamar has changed that, and Mahomes, and these other young quarterbacks. But how do you game plan against Lamar Jackson? You game plan for him to throw the ball, right? But when he can't throw in a game, in one game, he can beat you with his feet. Just like Curry right now. Teams expect him to shoot middies and 3-pointers, but no one expects him to get 10 boards. Shoot. I mean, people now expect him to shoot threes from the tunnel. But how do you game plan for a player that has changed the game for years to come? And Lamar is 25. He's still young, obviously in a different league, but these two players are crazy to play against because you don't know what you're going to get. But now it used to be prior to when Klay Thompson had his injury, it used to be, hey, if Curry had a bad game, okay, Klay's going to step up. He's going to average 30, 40 a game. Or if Klay's not going to do it, then Draymond's going to average 10. I think the 2016 finals run, he had what? He went 7 from the 3-point line, I think. Draymond. And then you had KD. When KD was on the Warriors, I mean, if Curry had a bad game, Klay would step up. If Klay had a bad game, Curry would step up. If Curry had a bad game, then Kevin Durant would step up. If Kevin Durant had to get back in, Draymond Green would step up. So forth and so forth. And imagine if they had James Wiseman back. I mean, I know he's hurt, but imagine that's another factor that would change the game. But obviously, he's not playing. He's hurt right now. He's been hurt all season. But hear me out. How do you game plan against a player with that caliber, with that arsenal? It must be a headache for these coaches and players to play against him, but it sure feels damn good for the players playing with him, with Klay, Draymond. Draymond admitted, in the comments that after game 4, Curry, without Curry's 43-point game, we probably wouldn't have won that game. And that's true. And that's what Curry does. He affects the game in so many different levels. And like I said before, we all know that Curry has changed the game for a 3. You see people going to the park, to the LA Fitness gyms, to the gyms in general, shooting threes. Well, back in the day, back in the Jordan era and Rodman area, players were not, especially big men, were not known for shooting the 3, And Curry has changed the game for that. And we, as NBA fans and sports fans alike, we have to appreciate his greatness, But Game 5 is going to be one hell of a game. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good game. This is crazy, man. To have his name in the same category as MJ and LeBron is crazy. And I know LeBron's up there. I think, third in all-time scoring, and I think Curry is top 15 in all-time scoring, I think, or top 12, 15. I mean, I think by the end of his career, when it's all said and done, Curry can be in that top 10, top 5 of all-time scoring with the way he's eclipsing, these milestones, And he's 34, I think 33 or 34. He's getting up there with age, but, he has a lot left in the tank. And that is scary. That is scary. But here I am. Here we are. Game 5 at 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. It's in San Francisco. But I will be dialed into Game 5, as we all should be. But that will conclude today's episode. I am your host, Jordan Jean Louis. And if you haven't, listen to any episodes, again, it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Amazon Podcasts. And please, if you can, please subscribe to the Patreon. Much appreciated. Follow me on the gram if you want to be a guest. That's JJL_XO on Instagram. And please stay safe. I hope y'all are doing well. And y'all can catch me at Wednesday's night's Yankee game as they take on the Tampa Bay Rays. I wanted to talk about the Yankees today, but I couldn't get into that today because of the finals. But the Yankees are looking hot. They're the hottest team in baseball. 25-7 at home, or 26-7 at home. 45-10 overall record. Aaron Judge is hitting the ball deep. Stan's hitting the ball deep. Pitching and hitting is on point, on par. I know a couple seasons ago, it was the hitting is there, but the pitching was not. A lot of injuries. But this year we are dangerous. But we'll get into that next episode. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you for all the love, the support, and please share this episode, share my podcast, spread the love. And yeah, we'll be back with another episode. Thank you all, and see you next week. Or actually, see you after Game 5. My bad. See ya.